Hey guys, what's up? It's Tenant here today, and I'm going to give you an amazing deck profile. I've been thinking up the best way to make a Subaru deck, and it was quite difficult, but I think I figured it out. ReZero's a pretty fun set to play around with. There's a lot of options at low levels, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So let's get right into it. I'm playing 4 of this Anesthesia. She has a drop a card from your hand to the waiting room when she's played, and then you get to look at the top 4 and add a card with Merchant, Beastman, or Knight that you reveal to your hand, which is pretty cool. But you look at Beastman and you look at Knight and you look at those traits, and turns out that's not actually that good in this set. That's why this card is an uncommon. The card's like 10 cents, 50 cents maybe, because things with that trait, like half of this deck doesn't even have that trait, so you're gonna be missing sometimes. But we've tried to max out on those cards. We've tried to make sure that you hit it. So because of that, you're gonna need 4 of those. Then you play one of this Ram Brainstorm. Not only is it a Brainstorm, pay 1 and you get to salvage for free. Like, you don't have to discard after, so you get actual pluses off of your triggers. You get a bond by pitching 1 to your level 2, the only level 2 you play. So that's pretty powerful. And then after that, we are going to have 4 of this Subaru with Puck. He's got some bond. It's not called a bond, but it's basically a bond to Forbidden Library. It's the early play for the Becky level 3. You don't play that, not in this deck. It's completely fine in another deck. But what you play this for is it's got to pay 1, pitch 1 to banish it when it's reversed, and you get to salvage 1. It's great. It helps your compression, because compression is the biggest part of this deck. You're going to be refreshing with Subaru at level 3, and your goal is to not die after the refresh, and you're going to be shuffling back in so many cards that your opponent basically has free reign. Then you're going to play 4 of this Becky. It's a 1K 0/0. It's a common, and when you play, you get to mill 2. If you mill Climax, you get a free salvage. It's pretty good. Not really much else to say about that one. You playing 3 of this Amelia. The 0/0, when it's placed from hand to stage, you top check. If it's a magic or weapon, you add it to your hand. Pitch 1. And when it attacks, if you have 1 or fewer other characters, you can mill the top. And if it's a level 0 character, you can put it in the back row, which is really good considering the fact you're running like 23. Let's see, it says it right over here, 23 level 0s. So it's, you got a 50% chance of actually getting that. Free pluses are always good. You're playing 3 of this. Now, I see most people, when they play the ReZero deck, they play 2 of this, Cattlemon Fruit Seller. If you have 1 other character or less, it gains 1500 power, and it's also got a bond to the event that you're going to be playing that you need for Subaru. For the 1500 power alone, I think this card's worth running 4 of, because it reminds me of Fenric from Disgaea. It's a great card. With runners, it's not as good, but it still helps you get like just stupid big cards on board. You're playing 2 of this Earth Dragon. It's got this effect that you can pay 2 and return it to hand when another card becomes reversed, and you can return that character. You're never going to use this. Not once in this deck are you going to use that. But it does have a bond to your end game, which is your Subaru. So it's worth playing. 2 of, I mean, if you need to, you just like drop it down and crash. Not really all that special. You're playing 2 of this oversized Subaru. Okay, I know a lot of people are looking at this card and they're like, whoa, 3,500. Ass. It's not good. especially with its downside. When it becomes reversed in battle, put this on the bottom of the library. Okay, hear me out on this one. I love this effect because it allows you, as long as you don't search your deck, it allows you to guarantee that there's not a climax on the bottom of your deck too often. Especially, this is a compression deck. This is a deck that you want to compress really well, and you want to heal up, and you want to like just negate, deny your opponent as much damage as possible. So having this go to the bottom of the deck saves you so much. So it can be relevant. At times, you know, your opponent might abuse it and just smack you in the mouth for that guaranteed 1 damage, but for the most part. No, okay, so now level 1. This is the only reason I think that Subaru is playable, is because of the level 1 game. Options that we had were either the Crush Climax combo, which you can generate 6 stock in a turn, but I think that requires Climax. And I found something that lets us play this right here, this card. It lets us play this, and it lets us have the consistency that we need to actually reliably get off Subaru. Because I mean, if you get the Crush combo and you don't get the Climax, you're going to be struggling in hand. That's the other thing now. The Crush Climax combo, you lose hand on really bad. So even though you get the stock, you lose your hand, and then you can't pitch the 5 that you need for the Subaru. So Crush Climax combo, not ideal. This level 1 line, I thought about it a lot. So first card, we're going to be playing 2 Julius. Best Knight. All of your characters are magic or weapon or merchant, so basically every single card in ReZero, plus 2k. Okay, so now he's a 6/5 on your turn. And if you have 3 or more other characters with magic, weapon, or merchant, so if you have 3 other cards on board, an additional 500 power, and he gains hand encore. So he's sometimes an 8k, I think. 6/5, no, 7. He's sometimes a 7k. Really, this card, not the greatest thing in the set. It's mostly there because it has the Knight trait, which means that you can get it off of the that reveal top 4. Then we're playing 1 Felix. Only 1 Felix, because we're not playing any Crush, so that effect doesn't matter. It's got a 500 power assist. That really doesn't matter either for the most part. But it's got pay 2, rest this. Heal 1. There are going to be games that you need to use this. There are going to be games where you can't get Subaru off. Well, you should be able to get Subaru off every game, but there are going to be games where, you know, sometimes you need that extra heal. Sometimes you get too much bad stock and you just need to get it out. It's good for those situations. So I don't know. I think it's a good one of, like, if you don't need it, you get rid of it. It also helps you because it has the nitrate. Now then, the big combo. 4 Mimis, 4 Heteros. Hetaro, okay. So first, Mimi can't side attack, but that's not relevant. 2500 level 1. Sounds bad, right? But it has a bond to the other cat thing for 1 cost, and it has a resonance with that same card to gain 6,000 power. So this is an 8/5 on the offense, and then it goes down to 2/5. You lose it every turn. But, you know, that by itself not stellar. Like, right, it bonds 1 card that it resonates with. The other card that it resonates with is, okay, these are also Beastmen, so they're searchable off of that check top 4. So you're going to be able to almost reliably always get 3 of these in your hand by the time you're level 1. This one can be reversed by bombs. Crash this thing into bombs, it's fine. Also only 2/5, right? So small. But it has bond to the Mimi. You can pitch 1, get a Mimi back. Okay, so over a turn, you're going to be using 1.5 stock and 1.5 cards in your hand. Over 2 turns, that's 3 cards in your hand, 3 stock. You attack 3 times, you get 6 stock, and you clock draw, you get 4 cards. So you get +1 to hand every 2 turns, and you get +3 stock every 2 turns. Making that pay 7, pitch 5, pretty reasonable. But it also has a resonance with the Mimi as well, where it gains +4,000. So it's a 6/5. It's all already as strong as most early drop, like most like oversized, and it gains a soul. Extra soul is always good. Helps you kill your opponent faster. Basically turns this into a soul rush deck, and then we're playing. You can drop this. It's pretty shit. It's just like I like the picture. It's a 5/5 vanilla. It's got the merchant rate. You can get it off the search. Or maybe put a duelist there. You just need something. I mean, for the most part, this is going to be pitched for this, or it's going to be pitched for like any one of these other bonds in your hand. It's just going to be there so you can like not go minus on the top check. But enough about level 1. Let's go to level 2. This is your shit's kind of hit the fan card. It's not really good. It's a 2/1, 6K. But remember, it's bondable with a level 0, and you're running 2 of this. When it becomes reversed, if it's killed by something that's like an early play, or if they have like a level support, I don't know what has a level support other than Sky and like a few other random ass decks, you get to send that to the bottom of their deck. Okay, so it gets rid of big things, it gets rid of big threats. The other good thing about it is it has a climax combo that when it's put onto the stage, you can pitch the climax, search for 2 characters with magic or weapon, add them to your hand. So that gives you a +1 to hand for 1 stock. It's pretty good. And then that's really all you've got at level 2. At level 3 though, we have the Subaru, the MVP, a 3/2, 3000 power, 3 soul. He has death and magic. You can't get him off the Katsuki, but you have so many other ways to get him. He has bodyguard. They have to attack him, or they have to side. They're probably not going to side against level 3, especially a 3000 attack one. Like, no, they're just gonna run him over. But then he has recollection. If you have a Subaru in your memory, you get to give one of your cards burn 1 on attack. Not the greatest, considering the fact that you have to have the event that I'm about to show you in your memory, 4 cards in hand, a specific climax, and 7 stock. But if you do, and this card's been reversed, hopefully on your opponent's turn, if you do this on going into your opponent's turn, you probably lost the game. You're giving them so much free advantage. But if you can get them to run into this on their turn, you get to heal every single point of damage they did. Every single one. So it heals you completely. It bounces every single card on the board to your hand, except for itself. It sends itself to memory. Then it shuffles both waiting rooms into the decks. So your opponent loses any compression that they had, because they probably, if they were level 3, they probably blew every single stock that they had. And then they went for the big push, they failed to kill you, he's reversed, you pay your 7, you bounce their entire field back to their hand, you ruin their compression, you get a 3 soul beater with a burn on the board, so you're going to be swinging for 4 plus 1, and then whatever else you had in your hand. And because yeah, he plays himself again. So he basically does his little revive thing. Pretty strong. If it gets clock kicked, you lose. If it gets bounced, you lose. If it like really has anything happen to it, you lose. If you don't have 7 stock, if you don't have the climax, okay, so it's really situational. But we've done what we could with that level 1 game and with the Soul Rush. Now then, Return by Death, 1 cost, level 1, flip over top 3, and you get to choose level X or lower, where X is equal to the number of characters with magic or weapon revealed this way. Considering the fact you're running 23 level 0s, you always get something back. I mean, it's basically a pay 1, salvage a random level 0, probably your Becky, so you can be able to maybe actually get a +1. And it goes to memory, so it helps your compression. It gives something 2000 power. That might be relevant with that card that can't side attack with the Mimi, but I mean, for the most part, your cards are either going to get over their board or like be too small. I mean, 8/5 is pretty relevant. It's pretty large. So now then, for the climaxes, we have a 2-4-2 split, right? We have true form of the Oni. I played it for the plus and combo just because I felt like hand is where you're going to struggle the most in this deck. Even with all the bonds, I think like having 5 cards in hand, because you're going to need 3 cards on the board going into the Subaru, you're going to want at least 3. You probably actually want enough to somehow guarantee a second Subaru if you want to be really cheeky. But when you play, it's a blue stock soul, 1 extra soul. I mean, it's not that good other than the combo. Then you have Oni-like fanatical methods, and it's the main reason I'm willing to play the 2-2 split on the other climaxes. It's a pants, so you get to trigger it, you get any of your climaxes back that you want, whatever you decide that you need. Maybe even itself, you know, you need it for the combo. You're probably going to have to be sandbagging this the entire game. Kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. And then the last one is Separation of Hearts plus 2 soul. Is probably one of the best profiles in this game for decks that don't have burns, because sometimes you just want to swing for like 5, maybe into an open lane for 6, get that burn for 7, and sometimes you're just going to hope that your opponent just like sucked acid shuffling. And it does happen, especially with Subaru. If he bounced their entire board back and they had like invested 6 to 8 stock into a level 3 game, I mean, and then you force a refresh on them, that usually means pretty shitty compression at that point. They usually will have, maybe after the bounce, 6 to 7 cards in hand. Like, most people don't, unless they're playing like Yami or something. Most people only have like 2 to 3 cards in hand after dropping all of their level 3s that I've noticed. Unless they have plussing level 3s. So they're not going to have that many. They're not going to have really good compression. It's pretty relevant. Plus 2 soul also because you're not playing level 2s, you're not playing early drops, you're not playing any 2 souls. Oh, you're playing the 2 souls on the Hitaro, but plus 2 soul is good. Just trust me on this one. Now, this is a budget version that I made for myself. So I'd say if you want to make this a little more competitive, I would maybe put like the Ricky Rem with the cat on her head in, because then you can search out with ease even easier. And I'd probably drop this for like a Julius or another Felix. Who knows, maybe another card at level 3. But I thought, you know, if we're going to be playing Subaru, like, I want to be playing Subaru. I don't want to be playing random ass cards. I don't want to be playing anything that doesn't synergize with the idea of just getting Subaru off, because this card has so much flavor. And every single time you drop it on your opponent and you get it to work, I think they're going to be pretty confused. Especially if they win. If you win with this, they're going to be salty. But that's all for this deck idea. Until next time, this is Seriotenin signing out.